Y'all, I got this wireless mic. I thought it was Bluetooth. I literally don't know how this works. So I'm just doing this test little video to see if this audio is going to work properly because guess what? I did a 40-minute video with the transmitter in. Y'all, do you know that I was talking and no audio came through? I think because of the transmitter, but the mic wasn't on, so it wasn't anything to pick up. But I was like, okay, so should I die? Like, should I end it all right here, right now? Okay, let's pause this and see if it's working. Hold on. Oh my god, you guys. Oh shit. Oh my god, you guys, is actually working. I'm gonna pin this. I was actually gonna say, I was thinking to myself, I'm gonna pin this on the end of my my it's a twist that I have in my hair. Hold on. This is kind of cunty. Hold on. Cunty, cunt. Can you actually hear me properly? Like, oh, that works. That works. Hold on. Let me pause this again. Let me see. So hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ebony. I talk about pop culture. I talk about media, my favorite forms of media. I do tarot readings at times. I'm just an intuitive and an overall ethereal and magical person. I wanted to do a reading on the music industry as a whole for 2026. I've been posting over the last 3 months for like as frequently as I can. Like, to me, it's on a regular basis. But I realized that like I haven't really been talking about music, and that's one of my favorite things to talk about. So I actually also saw a comment from somebody that was like, "Oh my god, your video cut off," and it was a video that I did 3 months ago about the superstar girl, and I was just like, "Girl, I'm not revisiting this." So this is just to kind of give some. Not this is not even a closure thing. This is something that I don't mind diving into a little bit more, but I do just want to do some like preliminary predictions for the year. I'm looking at my eyes. Let me tell you guys, I was crying at this TikTok that I saw. Like, when your sleep paralysis demon is Ghanaian. I might put it in the video because bitch, that was too funny.
Hey! So you're sleeping? What if I talk for the definite? I don't want to be the definite. You can't sleep with the definite. Quick. Bra, sheep. Have you any wool? Yes, sir, massa. 3 bars full. Hey, massa. To mommy cry, and you cry, and you sweet in the cry. You see that boy Kudus? That guy is better than Messi. Yes, please. I'm not playing with you. Hey! What? Bodam. To be intimate. Quick. Move. I don't want to tell me. What? Quick. When I hit the continent. Quick. When I.
Anyways, so that could be significant. This just being a very jovial, funny year. This could be a time where people are a little bit more well connected. I don't know if there's an improvement in technology and music technology or the way that people work with apps. That's actually something that was coming through in the first reading that I did, but I'll see if it comes out again. And just not letting ourselves be held back by stagnancies. I also want to say that one thing I mentioned in the last reading was that I felt like music in 2025 sucked. I feel like the Grammys are a very accurate representation of this year and a very accurate representation of this generation, but like that doesn't mean that it's good, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like it's true as in like what was popular, but I feel like the quality of the music is so questionable that I'm like, like, so I really wanted to do a deep dive on the music industry for 2026 to see if it would improve. I think just the preliminary energy is quite positive. The preliminary energy is quite positive, so let's hope that it stays that way. I'm going to pause again and just make sure this is working before I go in, because I'm going to be very upset if it malfunctions again. Hold on. Okay, I'm going to try my best not to keep it too close to my mouth because I don't want you guys to hear everything. You know what's so crazy? Like, one thing about me, I move stuff around and I lose it in my goddamn car and I never see it again. But I found this card from my favorite tarot deck that I haven't been able, I don't know where it's at. Like I said, I moved it, I hid it for myself and I can't find it. But the Chariot card. Okay, so I feel like this is an amazing starting off energy. I just wanted to note the fact that I just randomly found it in the car. Like, this has to be a good sign, right? I think this is a good personal sign. Honestly, if this relates to the rest of the reading, I'll definitely say that there is a forward movement that the world has never seen before, or it was like maybe we were just stuck in a collective stagnancy that we didn't. You know what? I was gonna say that we didn't see a stagnancy, but I think we saw it. I think we know that we're in a recession and shit is not cute right now. I I just get this energy of moving forward in a balanced way. Like, finally, this reminds me of the last Airbender, where it's like it's funny that I talk about balance being restored because it's like every single other element had forward movement, but after 100 years, it was just Aang. It was no airbenders, and then it was just Aang. Um, in the first reading that I did, we're going to talk about some of those same things. I'm going to see what happens in this specific reading. But what I will say, scratch that. Forget the first reading that I did. I did listen to a reading today that talked about how you're at the point, like the collective is at the point where not not putting yourself out there is harming the world more than anything. Like, for example, let's say that you're meant to be famous, and because you're going to change the world, and because you're going to employ a bunch of people, and put them on and give them the recognition that they deserve, amongst other things that your career can do. When you're not where you're supposed to be, those people also cannot reach their dreams. Maybe somebody's ultimate goal is going to be being your manager, and that could bring their life so many positive repercussions. Or like, a kid who's going to be your fan is going to realize their love for art or music, and that's going to change your life. Like, it's definitely this is definitely, I don't know if this is reading itself, I don't know if it's just the energy of the music industry this year specifically, but there's definitely forward movement that has been stagnant that all of a sudden is getting a breakthrough. Like, they couldn't stop you, they tried, and for a minute they might have been successful, but no more. Okay. Okay, we're good. Christ, Jesus Christi. I just prayed that this, like, come on, girl. I got this because someone was like, they commented and they were like, oh, your audio goes in and out. Can you please get a mic? And I was like, okay, yeah, because it makes me feel like professional. I don't know if there could be a lot of, it makes me feel like I'm like a newscaster or something. So I wonder if there, I wonder if there could be a lot of breaking news in music this year, like a lot of big moments in music, because I was saying, like, it being a recession is not an excuse for anything, okay? Because first of all, Gaga, because the recession that hit the last time was like 2008, 2009, kind of 2010. Gaga came out in 2009 in a recession. So, like, please do not tell me that because of the times that we are incapable of having artistic integrity, because it's just not the truth. History has proven that time and time again. Okay. I'm not gonna take these. Like, I hate when cards fall out when I'm in the car because they're so hard to get back. But I don't know if that could even be significant too, like certain things not going back to the way that they were. We have the Seven of Swords, we have the Strength, and then we have the Ace of Pentacles. So yeah, so the very first thing I get is this is very similar to the first reading. I was saying that there could be like for example, like, let's say music has sucked because there are no, how do I put this? Like, I feel like there are certain people who possibly deserve chances in music who haven't really gotten them, and they're finally getting that. So this could be disadvantaged groups. Like, I was specifically thinking of Black women, just people who are underrepresented or oftentimes are not given platforms, could be successful at this time. I was actually saying, I know a couple of months ago I said that this could be a time where you have a lot of amateurs, people who don't really have a lot of experience or really weren't given platforms, all of a sudden succeeding and having amazing careers and having a lots of success. So I definitely see that. This could also be the image of the pop star is changing a little bit, especially if there was like an image that wasn't necessarily, like, it was sellable, but it wasn't necessarily bringing, like, prospering the art. Oh my god, the Chariot card came out again. um I just feel like because the collective is maturing a little bit and not allowing certain prejudices to hold it back, the music itself is prospering, I was actually getting this energy that this year we could see a lot of Black pop stars. And when I say Black pop stars, I like, because a lot of the Black female representation in music is rap, which is like not inherently a bad thing at all, but but it kind of is it's limiting a little bit, like, because like I said, I hate, even in the first reading I was struggling to say this because I don't want to seem hotepish, but it's like, it's only one facet of what Black women in music can do, and it generally is a very specific archetype of women who are in the forefront in rap. Like, they look a certain way, they talk about certain things. Like I said, I don't want to be misogynistic or weird, but like, it's true that, like, to succeed in rap you have to look and sound a different way. I feel like there are a lot of Black women in pop music who are redefining things. And when I said pop music, I mentioned in the first reading that it's pop music, but it's not necessarily Sabrina Carpenter and it's not necessarily Taylor Swift. I was getting Tyla and that Tyler makes pop music, but it's not just pure pop. Like she makes a lot of this Afro fusion music where it's like it has piano or it just has regular Afro beats. I was saying it could be other genres, like it could be R&B pop. You know, like you have a lot of crossover. It's black women who are doing pop music, but a lot of it is crossover and it's more cultured, like I was gonna say ethnic pop. But this definitely changes it. I just feel like it's a very danceable year for sure. I'll say that much. It's definitely dance oriented pop music. It's not just, isn't that sweet? I guess so. I also feel like there could have been a push against this. I don't know if this is something that people were trying to keep hidden. The fact that they were trying to kind of suppress. I don't think that's necessarily like a hidden fact, but it might be the extent to which they were sabotaging certain people's careers or opportunities. But like not necessarily wanting black women in the forefront. I did just see this TikTok. Honestly, it's a very slippery slope, this conversation. But someone was talking about how a lot of times they don't want certain beautiful black women in places because it threatens the quote unquote beauty hierarchy. And so I do feel like to a certain extent, there are people like it could be like CEOs and executives who are pushing certain things because they're just like, if we let these people get ahead, they're really gonna start skating, And this could be sonically, this could be visually as well. Yeah, I feel like there's like a purposeful lack of investment, but there might be a lot of independent artists or just like artists who are getting funding from different kinds of places. Like, it might be like an independent label or like black labels who are pushing black labels are pushing artists. Like I really do see that from the top there's a concerted effort to not necessarily invest in black women in music, but this is not going to stop the prosperity from happening this year because it's like I said, like RCA might not invest in this girl or might not invest in these artists, but like let's say it's like, for example, like it's like an African label that does, like someone's going to make sure that these artists get the platform. And this might even be people who they get a little bit of investment, but they turn that investment around so bad that it changes everything. Like, like if you know anything about BTS, like they started at Hybe when it was just Big Hit, right? And their success literally allowed Big Hit to become the conglomerate that is Hybe. Like Hybe did not exist. Hybe did not come into the situation Hybe. They were Big Hit, they were a small company, and they were about to go under until like 2015, 16, 17, when BTS really had this huge international success. And so I feel like a lot of these smaller pop acts or pop acts who have a little bit of investment, they could succeed. Like for example, like I said, it might be smaller or independent labels that are investing in these artists, and because these artists make such a crazy return, they could help invest into the careers of other people. How I was just saying, if you are not where you're supposed to be, the people who are attached to your destiny cannot be who they're supposed to be. So like for example, let's say that you're BTS and you're about to give up or you're about to forfeit because things are not working, and then you're able to turn around your career, and so because of that you're able to invest in the careers of all these other people. I was gonna say certain other acts. I know Hybe is having a couple issues with some of the people that they've hired. Without the success of one, like the success of one directly influences the success of another. It could even just be the fact that because Beyonce was successful, they saw that this formula for a black woman can be successful. This is just a hypothetical. Like I said, no shade to anybody. Please do not whip my ass. It's literally just a hypothetical. So yeah, I want to say that it's like investing in the communities and this could, like I said, it could be smaller independent labels that are, because they are investing in these right artists, they're making a lot of money and they're able to invest in other people. um I'm telling you, this is going to be the year of a black woman being the beauty standard, or just being at the front of the conversation about beauty and celebrity and popularity. I'm thinking about Olandria. I was just saying yesterday, Olandria is really that bitch. Like she really, you know how crazy it is to go from a Love Island to Harper's Bazaar? My girl is at the Golden Globes. What is a girl from Love Island doing on the Golden Globes? But she's just that girl. Like that's what happens when you that girl. Like I'm gonna say this again. The investment is so small. It's so small. But because people see these women and they believe in them, the outcome is so big. People are flipping contracts and opportunities like nobody's business. Like I don't know if this is also because some of these women who are coming into these spaces are quite business minded and that's why they're able to do this as well. I just keep hearing "No More Dream" by BTS, like shimmy shimmy, yeah, you such a liar. So this could definitely be the year of, for example, like Sabrina Carpenter, like her breakthrough came after a lot of albums, a lot of work put in. These might be quite successful debuts. Like debut songs, debut albums. So I feel like when we see, like I said, this is definitely amateur energy. This is not people who have been here trying to make it happen. You have the 10 of wands in reverse. These are not people who have been here trying to make it happen. These are new people making new things happen. I was also saying that there could be a strong emphasis on there being like a generation system in the West in a way that there wasn't before. If you're into K-pop, if you're like a K-pop fan, you understand what like first gen, second gen, third gen means. Even though K-pop is a thing in the West and people know what it is, there's really not a strong investment in K-pop culture as a whole in the West. People might know individual like bands, but a lot of times, even right now, if you ask like people from the general public to name all members of BTS, 9 times out of 10, people are going to struggle. I see this integration of like K-pop culture into the West. This could also be alternatively, you see a lot of Western artists, or specifically maybe one or two Western artists going over there and having success that it kind of allows the meshing of these two cultures. And so it can create this like sixth gen. I don't know if, because sixth gen is the next generation in K-pop. Mind you, fifth gen has been here for like 3 seconds. So I don't know if it's going to happen that quickly. It could just be kind of the conversation of a quote unquote first gen. In America, if you ask me, first gen, like real first gen in America probably would have been like Britney and them, like them kids who was on the Mickey Mouse Club making stuff happen. But like I said, I don't know. It's definitely just the adoption of a generation system or some of those stand values that they have over there, or you see like the interest in each other's music cultures becoming quite conflated. So this could be like, for example, like the way that they sell merch here could be changed a little bit and follow the K-pop model a little. I know the K-poppies took from Motown, so like this is not me being ignorant or not knowing anything, but like at the end of the day, that's still things that they don't do in the West anymore. So that could be something that people are readopting, the way that they sell albums, the way that they sell merch. What was I gonna say? This could be music shows as well, so the way that music is presented or the way music is sold. So you might see the re-emergence of certain music channels. Mind you, I know MTV is kind of collapsing, so like, but you just never know. You just never know what could happen. Like, we could be saying this now, and then 6 months a new channel comes out, and they have a new award show or something like that that becomes very big. We have the 10 of Pentacles. I'm telling you, it's Black women leading this charge in the change of music. So I do think that there's an investment in stan culture. This might even become, one thing that people have been saying about K-pop as well is that it's giving teens a third space that has been kind of lacking, especially in the West. So this stan culture could kind of reintroduce that properly for like, when I say properly, I just mean like Western acts. I don't really want to act like K-pop is just like so different, or I'm trying to say like this anomaly, because I was into K-pop as a teenager, so I totally get it. But yeah, it's just something that like they have to like people in the West have to outsource because it doesn't exist here. So there could be a bigger stand culture emerging in the West. Hold on. Yeah, I said before that I do think that 2026 is going to be the year of the girl in music, and this is very clear because it's just women. And I was actually saying in the last reading too that there could be women who are attacked for their prosperity, and I was saying that the big issue could be because, like for example, like we've seen a couple of the rap girls, especially one prolific one, go through a really bad hate train, and it's just misogyny. And I was saying that because of the things that they talk about and they rap about and the ways that they look, it's kind of easier for men to kind of scapegoat them because they come out and they have these very big, bold, and oftentimes very sexual personalities. But I feel like with these other women, like it definitely doesn't stop the misogyny, but it's like it feels like misogyny like pro max, because these are not, like for example, the girls who are in these pop spaces, they're not able to be sexualized or talked about in the same way that these rap girls are, because they're not doing these overtly like I said, these things that people see as things that they can easily target, like like with the Madonna whore. At the end of the day, when you're a woman, like I said, the target is on your back, but like people are going to blame a whore, somebody who's promiscuous and out there and accepts their sexuality, more than somebody who is virginal, even though when they want to turn it, they will turn it. And so that's the issue, like where they have these women who are not as easily scapegoated. And so I was saying that there could be another very big hate train against a woman. I was saying that these could even escalate to physical violence. I was saying that there might even be some level of sexual violence, and it doesn't even have to be like a physical altercation. This could even be just like people making like, I hate that bitch. Let's make this AI photo or this AI video of her getting ran through. Like just some crazy nasty shit. It unfortunately it could be physical. Like let's not act like it doesn't happen. Like trigger warning. But yeah, I'm seeing the trigger warning kind of late. But yeah, like I do see men being quite upset at the fact that women are being celebrated so much so, because I just feel like, I don't know, like especially in the rap spaces, people know that men have kind of been like Like they kind of getting watched, but I feel like this year is like, where are the niggas at? Nowhere to be found. Like where are the niggas at? No one cares. I'm honestly thinking about like the fuck the streets kind of thing. So these might even be men who like, at one point in time they was trying to act like, for example, like they were trying to act like it's cool, why would we hate the girls and all that, but like to see themselves getting totally eclipsed like this, it can make them mad. So like at one point in time they might have been trying to play like it was all cool and it was all chill, and now they really can't stand it. They're just like, oh fuck that bitch. Like I said, I do think that this is the year, I want to say, a safe haven for Black women's beauty. I was also getting this energy, this emphasis on Black women's beauty moving back to a very natural place. This is why I was like, oh, I don't want to sound like a hotep. This is why I don't want to sound like a hotep. But like, for example, if like there's like this Black female superstar, if she's if she's totally natural, she wears her natural hair out a lot, you could find a lot of people kind of modeling their beauty after her. That it's more just like, because somebody is succeeding a certain kind of way, everybody wants to look, everyone wants to do that same thing. So it's like, I don't have any issues with the girls who get BBLs and get their body done, but it's like all of a sudden, you gotta be a natural girl. We don't want nobody with no plastic surgery. We don't want, because there's like a doll aesthetic that's kind of going on right now. So they're like, we don't want no girls with no fake ass butt, with no big ass hard ass butt. We don't want no girls who, they only wearing lace fronts and they're wearing like 17 pounds of makeup. Like I said, I don't really like saying this out loud because it sounds crazy when I say it, and I don't really necessarily believe in these things, but it definitely just feels like there's a shift in the way that women's, especially Black women's beauty is celebrated. Because at the end of the day, like, even if I don't necessarily believe these misogynistic things, I do think that it's very true that if you see Black women on TV, 9 times out of 10, they're wearing a wig. And it's not even the fact that it's a wig. A lot of times it be a straight wig. They're wearing a lot of makeup. They're dressing a certain kind of way. Their body looks a certain kind of way. Like, even if women should not be afraid to just identify and express the way that they want, you cannot deny that to be in a certain space, you generally have to look a certain way. And I feel like this is changing or being defied a little bit by naturalness. Not even necessarily clean girl. I just literally feel like you just might see, people are getting leave out instead of getting, like a full lace wig, or they're wearing like their natural hair instead of, wearing extensions at all. Or like I said, their makeup looks a little bit different, or they're not dressing as, I don't want to say it's like it's the clothing is derived of sex, like it's no longer sexy, but I do think that like the need to be like overtly provocative, or just like, I don't know. I feel like the glamour is almost in the allure more than it is in like, wearing super huge cutouts. And I don't know. It's the way that it doesn't feel as dress up as it did before. It kind of feels like, for example, like wearing a nightgown, is can be a sexy. I'm thinking about like Charlotte from Real. I was gonna say Real Housewives. Charlotte from Sex and the City, where she wore that lingerie for, who was it? Was it Richard? I don't even remember, Trey. And it was like, like she could have just wore like a nasty little, like, when I say nasty, she could have worn just like a nasty little two-piece lingerie, like, lace thong and bra or whatever, but she was wearing this long like negligee. It was see-through, but you see how that's just like, it plays on the allure a little bit more than it just being like boobs, coochie, ass. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, it is boobs, coochie, ass, but it's done a little bit tastefully. It's not as overt, it's not as aggressive. It's definitely sexy, it's definitely sexual, but it's just not butt ass naked the way that it is before. Or, I'm thinking about Rose McGowan in that dress. Like, I don't know. Like, for example, I'm thinking about that. Like, for example, um, God, like I said, talking about this makes me feel like such a piece of shit. But like, it's there are ways to emanate sex without necessarily wearing the most like outward thing, if that makes sense. I'll just put it like that. Yeah, I see that male hating energy. I don't know if this is, a lot of male artists are flopping this year, or they're just getting completely washed by women. And so like I said, they're teaming up, like I'm telling you, it's a lot of misogynistic, Jesus, it's a lot of misogynistic attacks going on. There's a lot of misogynistic attacks going on. So I really want you guys to think deeply. If you see a female celebrity one day and the bitch is randomly, they post like her news is on the TL, I need you to think that, number one, it could be AI, or number two, it was a bunch of men who teamed up. Like, we got to do something to stop her, because people are talking about you too positively right now. Like, that's what it's giving. um I wonder if Black spirituality could be a big thing in music. So I don't know if there could be somebody who's like talking about Ifa or like hoodoo. I'm honestly thinking about Solange. Not even in that Florida water. Um, there might even be a collective shift back to black spirituality or just talking about blackness in general. It just seems like a very black year, doesn't it? Seems like a very black year. Um, I feel like this is a year. I was actually saying that in the last one too. This is almost like a year of reparations for women, but for black women specifically. I'm thinking about Wumi Mosako, and like Mosaku, I think is her name. And like, I really hated this conversation around her because people are acting. I was just saying this on Twitter that people act like if you are not light skinned and you are not skinny and you are in the public eye, you are inherently an anti-black caricature. Like you are inherently anti-black for existing just because you're dark skinned and you're a size 16. But no one ever questions the anti-blackness of having light skinned and biracial women in all these spaces all the time. No one ever questions the validity of their blackness and what their representation does to this community. But if you're black and you're fat in this space, they're like, bitch, fuck you. White people hate us, and so they let you have a space. It was really, 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 really weird. So I do think there's a celebration of this body type, or just like a respect for this body type and just these looks in a way that don't really exist. Because like it's crazy to me that they will talk about anti-blackness when dark skinned women have things, but they won't talk about anti-blackness when it's 17 biracial bitches in the front. Like, why do y'all never have these conversations when it comes to non-black people doing these things, but you have everything to say when it's a dark-skinned person? And this is why there are certain conversations where I understand why people do not entertain it, like conversations about like what's the word, like featureism, because I get it. Like I totally get the fact that people are like, to some people it just looks like a dark-skinned person has something and y'all are like, fuck you, bitch. Like, like I totally get it, because a lot of y'all bitches, that's exactly what the fuck y'all do. Is crazy. But yeah, I just feel like like I said, there's definitely a shift of this black beauty standard, or you see a lot of black women, like I said, quote, challenging that um beauty hierarchy. Like I said, it gets very eugenics. Like the more you talk about this, it gets very misogynistic. The more you talk about this, like it's very easy to teeter into that area. But I do feel like you have a lot of black women who are beautiful in the forefront and they're succeeding. And like I said, a lot of it is just the investment back in their own community, and that creating a crazy boom. Like it kind of gives like I don't know, this is even something that can become kind of historical, where it's like all of a sudden you see all of these black women in the front, and you see all these conversations about blackness in the front, about reclaiming blackness, about reinvesting into blackness that people specifically did not like invest in. I also want to talk about, like I said, technological advances. I was actually getting some conversations about Spotify and streaming, about how that money works. That could be significant. You could also see, like, I was talking about the K-pop merch thing, where the ways that they sell things could really change things. Getting people's money, like, there might be somebody who's leading this charge for um, artists getting paid, and like I said, like for example, if this is the black superstar, like her conversations about blackness or her conversations about money and how things are being spent could literally lead to a bunch of people being liberated or getting money that they're owed. Especially if these are conversations, because I know it's not necessarily a new thing, but it might be somebody highlighting it or spotlighting it that is able to kind of make a difference. Like it happens where a conversation might have been happening, but it takes for that one person to talk about it for things to break through. Like everybody knew what R. Kelly was doing. It wasn't until Vince Staples was like, "Girl, what the fuck?" Where everybody was like, "No, yeah, for real, what the fuck?" And they really got that nigga. Like, it happens. It absolutely happens. Um, any final messages? Because I really went and got that nigga after that, and it was literally just Vince Staples like, he was peeing on people. Like someone needs to do something about that, and they did. So I do feel like these are things that, like I said, these are positive developments that people have definitely been orchestrating against. I don't want you guys to forget that. I don't think you will. Like not even to be conspiracy theory, because it's not a conspiracy. Like this is a concerted effort to be like it's kind of giving like, how they said like Reagan put crack in the communities. Like that was a conspiracy until it was the reality. Like that was really what happened. Like this is the equivalent of these people putting crack in these communities, like to destroy them. Like, but there's a liberation. It just takes for, like I said, it just takes for this one role model, this one leader to come in and boom. Girl, it's 23 degrees. Bitch, it's cold. And I said before that this person, she could be dealing with, should we just talk about her a little bit? she's been dealing with being scapegoated and people not wanting to help her. But I get this energy this person's gonna leave. Oh, it's almost like in the middle of the night, like no one has to like me, no one has to support me. You know, my like especially the people around her could not support her, but it's like I didn't need anybody's support. I just needed my belief in my dream. You're the King of Pentacles. You see how they like it's not just the people around them. It's like the Matrix, the people who are controlling the Matrix who are like, because if you do this, if you get out, it's over for all of us. You know how they say, like, for example, like I think a lot about Sloan Bellows reading on Selena Quintanilla and how like she had said that Yolanda had like a spirit on her back and it was just like this dark, because she was a weak-minded person. Dark energy was able to kind of cling to her in order to make her feel powerful. And I feel like people have been benefiting off of this person not being who they need to, and some people might have even come in and to be like this on a soul level, on a spiritual level. Some people might have come into this life specifically to stop this person, you know, like the same way that people come in and they want to spread light. There are people like, mind you, Martin Luther King Day is on Monday, you know. He was doing amazing things for black people and people still wanted to take him out. So I don't know if there's like I don't know, I wouldn't say an assassination attempt, but you know, honestly, this energy, like I said, there's definitely people who are getting attacked for being progressive. So whether that, like I said, that's a physical attempt, whether this is some sort of like attempt of violence to humble this person, yeah, this is definitely a time to up that security detail. You know, watch the security. You don't even know if it's the fucking security who's gonna have your ass fucked up. Like, one thing I will say is that this person is a patriot. They believe in their cause and they're not going to leave it on the table. This person, I'm thinking about Patrice Lumumba, and like, not, I don't, because mind you, celebrity is not this inherently revolutionary thing, like a politician and like somebody who's living and dying for civil rights. So I don't want to necessarily compare this person to them, but like, or to him, but like, I do feel like this is somebody who's like, you know what, I believe in my cause, and this could benefit somebody in the long run, you know, even if it's not necessarily celebrity, is something that is going to necessarily bring prosperity to everyone. This could just be their love for and their respect and their honoring of blackness. They're just like, this is going to make a positive difference. So even if I cannot necessarily live in this world or live to see this benefit, my sacrifice is going to be worth something in the long run for this conversation. I don't necessarily see death. I don't see the death of any one person, but it's definitely going to be considered a tax, you know. So just like, for example, like I was talking about that one rapper, that one female rapper who they've been going against her, but she didn't lose her life. She didn't lose any sort of ability. She hasn't lost a dime. Well, I don't want to say she hasn't lost a dime because like emotional distress and stuff like that, but like life has not stopped for her just because they try to do negative things to her. Trust me, they were violent towards her. They were violent and they continue to be, but it doesn't necessarily stop the fact that she's going to keep on going. Um, yeah. I want to say that you can see a lot of black love. This is the last thing I'm going to say. Increase black love or conversations about black love. This could be about black queer love or just black queer people. I want to say history of black couples and just history of black people could be brought to the front, but specifically love, or like love leading to this conversation about history and lost history. Like, for example, like let's say two people meet up, like let's say two artists meet up and they're both people who have a deep connection to history, and because of their love for history they create this art project that's going to inform the world about these things that they never knew, or enlighten, you know what I'm trying to say. This could definitely be couples who are doing enlightening work, or just a lot of new black couples in the spotlight. Mind you, I don't want to put, especially in love, it's not good to put anybody on a pedestal, but like you definitely have some people who are aspirational. Yeah, I do. For some reason, I do see this might even be a collaborative project from a black couple. This could be Beyonce and Jay-Z. I honestly was getting this energy of like, I did say that a magnum opus is definitely going to come out this year. So like, because I saw Lemonade, so this might, Beyonce might be dropping again this year. This could be her. This could be her and Jay-Z doing something, or just another prolific black couple who, you know, is creating work that is definitely changing the kind of. It's almost just like this work needed to exist for, like I said, who's going to come after. So like it might be the history from this, it might just be the imagery of black love or black queerness, or I don't know, it kind of, queerness is coming up, but it seems like black love inherently is also specifically women. So like this might be like a black lesbian or just a woman who loves women. um this could be revolutionary, especially if this is quite popular, because like how many black lesbians do you know in music who are successful? I'll wait. Like, and when I say black, I mean like fully black. This is not no biracial and mixed with 17 different things. I'll wait. and no one who's not light skinned. I'll wait. Like, I'll wait. So yeah, it's just a lot of investment in blackness this year, and black womanhood, and black music, and black art, and black communities, and in black love. Like, there could definitely be a push for black love, maybe black love media, because a lot of times it's like it's either no black people or it's a swirl, it's an interracial couple. Um, okay, I think I'm done.